Hello, homeschooling friends. I'm Scott Mckown with Arizona Families for Home Education, otherwise known as AFHE. I hope your 2019 has started off in the right direction. It's going to be an exciting year. I have a question for you. Is homeschooling an important interest in your life? If so, would you mind focusing your attention with me for the next few minutes? I have a special request that is very simple and it won't take long, but the positive impact will be compounded to thousands of families. Now, no, I'm not going to ask you for money, but before I go there, I want to share a true story that happened to a pastor friend of mine. Several years ago, this pastor and his church staff were coming back from a conference in Atlanta. They were gone for several days and were exhausted from sleeping in hotels and eating fast food and attending workshops and lectures and all those things that normally come when you go to a week-long conference. As they were getting on the plane to fly back home, this flight was on a layover from Florida, so there were already people on the plane. Plus, this was a popular airline that doesn't assign seats and cattle herds you into the airplane. This pastor is a fairly tall guy and his favorite choice of seating is the aisle. Knowing this was a full flight, he was looking for the first aisle seat he could find. And towards the back, he saw one open and he just sat down. Then he realized he had sat down next to a mother with her 1-year-old son. And for a 4-hour flight, that might not be the best choice for a peaceful one. But he was willing to take the risk for the ability to stretch. As the flight took off, sure enough, the baby became more restless. The crying continued to go on and got louder. This poor baby wasn't happy and neither were the rest of the passengers around him. What's funny is that the passengers turned around to give that glaring stare, like, do something. But what the pastor realized is that they thought he was the father and the husband. And were looking at him like, why aren't you doing something? This pastor was thinking about how he could try to help without looking like that weird creep guy. Just before he went to say something, one of the staff members was sitting in the row behind him, and she leaned over and asked the mother if she could hold the baby and try to calm him down. Now, this wasn't just any lady. This was one of the children's ministers at the church, and she was a mother of 3 boys. She was definitely the right person for the job. After some reassuring that this was a good decision, the mother handed the baby over. Now, this gave the pastor an opportunity to friendly engage the mom and ask some questions. Not in any way to condemn or judge, but he instinctively knew that there was something off about this situation. There had to be more to the story. He explained to the mother who he was and just simply asked her some questions. What he found out was unfortunate. This woman and her baby were fleeing an abusive situation. Just that morning, she had snuck herself and the baby out of their house with no luggage and no money. Now, she managed to call her mom, who happened to live in Phoenix, and ended up purchasing a plane ticket for this mother and her child to escape. Now, this plan wasn't too thought out because the grandmother was pretty sick and she didn't have a lot of resources and she didn't even have a car to come pick them up from the airport. Even though the pastor and his staff were exhausted, they knew that to build a strong community, you have to support others and come alongside them that need help. So when they landed in Phoenix, some of them took the mother and the baby straight over to the grandmother's house, while others went to the grocery store and got food and diapers and other supplies that were needed. They continued to follow up with her for weeks and months, giving this mother a chance to get on her feet. Now, friends, this wouldn't have happened if the effort wasn't given and both sides responded. First, someone has to ask the questions and the other side has to give the answers. The questions are never to judge or condemn the person, but rather to assess the circumstance so help can be provided. The answers had to be given so that clarity of the conditions could be defined and a clear plan could be executed that would bring relief and help. Asking and answering is not where the process ends. Action has to follow, but it's where it begins. And today, that's where we want to begin. Today, we here at AFHE have some questions to ask, and this is where you come in. We have up to 7 questions we want to ask you in regards to your current homeschooling journey. Now, I'm not saying or assuming you're in a desperate situation at all. Our goal is to learn how to serve you better, and we can't do that if we don't ask or if you don't answer. Typically, you're going to fall in one of several categories. You're either homeschooling or you're not. If you're homeschooling, you're either thriving and all systems are going strong, or you're doing okay, but you can improve in some areas, or you might be struggling altogether. If you're not homeschooling, it's probably either because you're finished, you never started, or you just haven't started yet. No matter where you fit in, these questions apply, and we would love to hear from you. The opportunity for you in answering these questions is that this gives you the ability to shape how we will serve the homeschooling community in the future. This is going to come back around and not just bless you, but bless thousands of other families too. This is a chance to make an impact on the whole community. So will you help us out? Help us understand what you are uniquely experiencing in your homeschooling journey. If you're willing to do so, there is a link either in the post or below in the description where you can go to answer these questions. But before you do that, I'd like to make a few things clear. Number 1, while we would love for you to do so, and it would be helpful, it is not required that you give your personal contact information. It is completely optional. If you want to remain anonymous, that is perfectly fine. We will respect that and would still love to receive your feedback and answers. Number 2, now if you're willing to give us your contact information, we will be choosing a few people to ask some follow-up and clarifying questions, but that's only if you give us permission to. Number 3, we are not going to share this information with anyone. This is only going to be collected for the purpose of allowing AFHE to learn how we can better serve you in 2019 and years to come. Number 4. Now, except for the first question, most of these questions are multiple choice. But the bottom of the questions, you're going to find a place where you can add comments or elaborate on your answers. We promise to read every word that you write. So please feel free to share as much or as little as you like. We're only going to leave this link up for a limited time, so please respond right now or as soon as you can. It won't take long. Friends, we want to see you thrive in your homeschooling journey. Your help in answering these questions will allow us to serve you more completely. We recognize that educating your child at home is a high calling and one that comes at a very high price. Together, we are stronger, and by walking together in this journey, we give our children the hope and foundation they deserve in order to thrive in their future and with their families for decades to come. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and click on that bell to get these updates whenever we put out new content and new videos. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, hit the like button and leave us a comment or question below, and please share us with your friends. We've got a lot planned in 2019, and we're excited to share with you in the coming days the amazing things we're putting together to help you in your homeschooling journey. Thank you for watching this and taking time to answer these questions. May God richly bless you and your family as we all continue to train our children in the way they should go. Take care, and we'll see you soon.